What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Deepwater Podcast. Check out the banner. Follow us below at our different socials. Remember, it's not a podcast unless you're drinking real American beer, a.k.a. the big-ass sign right here. Welcome back, OG Deepwater. Coach D, what up, dude?
What's good? What's good? I am back, baby. I had a lot of stuff to do, so I had to let Chris handle the heavy lifting. But I'm back to come hang out with him. So we got some more stuff going on. So I haven't cussed him out in a minute. So I was feeling some kind of way about it. So I figure let me chime back in and see what's good. So Chris, what's good?
Chilling, dude. You know, we're going to RAF this weekend. RAF 12, the anniversary show. We know it's going to be an absolute crazy show. You know there's going to be some surprise. Eric Bischoff got something in store for this weekend. We all know that, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going on. Not to mention, after next month, we got RAF Russia coming up, which that card is out of control. It might be better than RAF Georgia, dude. RAF Georgia might be one of the greatest cards ever assembled for wrestling.
Well, I'll say this. International competition is simply the thing, right? I just came back from PFL Charlotte, right? And they have a big platform for international competition. So now we're really up against international competition. Before it was up against different stage, different promotions. Now we're up against international competition. Do we want to compete in the States or do we want to compete internationally? So it's getting bigger all the way around. You may see a lot more events outside of the United States compared to inside the United States coming up real soon.
It sounds like RAF's planning on doing a U.S. event and an international event every month.
And that's the blueprint. I think PFL is doing something similar to that too. That must be the big market blueprint. So if you're on that level, that's simply what you do. That's what
would be fair for RAF specifically, for wrestling in particular. I mean, think about it like soccer, right?
Yeah.
Right. In America, MLS can make some money. You know, it's okay for a pro league, but I think they paid more for the television rights to like the English Premier League to show it in the United States than they pay MLS to show the American Pro League in the US. And I think like for wrestling, it's kind of similar, right? Like if RAF builds that international base, the TV rights for their international shows are going to pull in more money than their Fox Nation TV rights in the United States.
Also, depending on where you go, the fan partisanship is a lot more loyal. Did you see the numbers that the World Cup put on the United States? How much money they were paying to travel to the United States? Some guys were saying, I paid $15,000 to come here.
Yep.
When have you ever heard an American say, I paid $15,000 to go see an event in another country? I don't think I've ever heard that. Not somebody who don't got no real money.
To be fair, outside of soccer, there's no sporting event outside the United States worth traveling to go see.
Oh, I agree. I'm saying the loyalty of the international fan base is legit. Is what I'm saying. It's legit.
Well, when you make it about country and not like traveling to go watch a sports team versus going to watch a team representing your flag is too. You know, that's a gigantic difference, especially like in a true world championship like the World Cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. No, I get you. I was making that point, but I get what you're saying.
So we brought this up last week. I want to get your take on it because I think this is actually this might be a good topic for you.
Okay.
I saw a lot on social media and we touched on it on the podcast because I was all about this topic.
Uh-huh.
Why is RAF absolutely destroying UFC BJJ? Because they are. They're murdering it.
Because RAF was organic. RAF tried, failed. Then they got the right combination, and it took off. And it's honest. They go, this is what we're doing, right? For the UFC, it seems like a money grab. They go, I want to take everything from you. We don't. I can support at least UFC fighters can go compete in RAF, and nobody says anything. There's no big deals, right? You hardly don't even know any UFC fighters is even competing in BJJ until you happen to catch it after the fact. Because it seems like a grab and not just, okay, hey, we're doing something to support BJJ. That's what I'm getting. There's a feel that says, hey, this is legit, this is organic, this is something that we should do to grow the sport. I see it as a grab. That's my opinion on it.
Okay.
That's why it's not doing what it should be doing.
My opinion on it was
Go ahead.
My opinion on it was that tournament jiu-jitsu might be the most boring thing on planet Earth to watch.
Well, I mean,
like freestyle wrestling
for hardcore fans, yeah, it has its audience though, but they're so die hard that it's not going to let just anybody do it.
I'm just saying, as a jiu-jitsu guy first, wrestler second, because that's what I was. That's how my life was in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Freestyle wrestling at its root, if you take all the production and all the bullshit away, is just more entertaining than watching two dudes scoot on their ass for fucking 10 minutes.
No, I get you. No, I get what you're saying.
So like to get the casual fan to watch BJJ is almost impossible.
Yeah.
But
for the entertainment standpoint, you are correct. They don't have actually there is no entertainment factor at all. You're either in it or you're not.
And I brought up that like the BJJ guys somehow are worse on the microphone than the wrestlers.
And that's saying something.
I mean, they're legitimately like, it's one thing to be bad on a mic, but it's another thing to be bad on a mic but still have a likable personality.
Yeah.
And be able to kind of still survive not being great on the mic. The BJJ guys got nothing. They got absolutely nothing.
If I had to make a guess, their arrogant factor is a little bit higher than any other sport when it comes to you should be watching us. It's like you should be doing jiu-jitsu. Everybody goes, you ain't nobody if you ain't doing jiu-jitsu. I hear that from people. I go, everybody don't care about jiu-jitsu. Right? Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of it. I know I have so many friends who participate and are very good at it. Guys I've known since almost 20 years. But I don't mean I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'll promote it. If you compete, I'll talk about you. But I don't mean I got to do it.
You know, and to be fair, like, they're arrogant, but like, why are wrestlers showing up to jiu-jitsu tournaments with 6 months of experience and actively being able to compete and beat people? You know what I'm saying? Like where's the arrogance based in? Because wrestlers just show up, maybe know 1 or 2 submissions max, but they just pick you up and drop you on the ground and go ahead and be underneath me. I'm not going to let you do anything to me. Where's this arrogance coming from?
Well, I could say if you don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, you can't get hemmed up. I'll tell you that. But it is hard in today's landscape to not be a wrestler and be in an MMA gym and not learn some ways to defend against jiu-jitsu, you know, on the basic level. Like with their power and their dominance and their speed and their quickness and their explosiveness can get you out of a lot of trouble as long as you are too arrogant to think that you can't get caught. As long as you're mindful of what you're doing, you can pretty much hold your own against a jiu-jitsu guy. And that's my take on it.
I agree with you. That's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like the jiu-jitsu guys, like, it's because they don't really have that explosiveness, like you were saying. Like they don't train for that explosiveness. And to me, like, if you really want to catch someone in a submission in like a real life situation, it has to be like that. You have to see opening, and it has to be It has to be a quick, sudden burst movement, boom, like old boy a few weeks ago, Patty.
Yeah.
When he caught old boy in that one of the deepest chokes I've ever seen in my entire life. That was because his reaction time, and he exploded into that. Now it took him he took his time to get the hip sunk. But I'm saying when he to get here, it was boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he tried to take his time getting to here, he would have never got there because the guy would have rolled through and he would have lost it.
But also, the biggest problem fighters make in the UFC is getting talked their way into what kind of fight you think it's going to be, right? If you think it's going to be a stand-up fight and somebody talks you into it and then you get choked out, that's your fault. That's you let somebody talk you into, yeah, we're going to bang mother effer, yada, 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 because you a stand-up fighter, and then when push comes to shove, you think you're going to swing for the fences, he takes you down and submits you. Because at the end of the day, you got to win first. Before you can do anything else, you got to win.
100%. Yeah, I was getting your take on it because we talked about it probably a couple weeks ago. We talked about it. I saw it kind of circulating on the, I saw it circulating on social media, and I was looking at the comments and kind of seeing what the general feel of the public was on it. And that's that's where they were at. They're just like, most people were just like, it's unwatchable.
Yeah.
Like UFC BJJ is just unwatchable.
Well, I'm not going to say it's unwatchable. If you got fighters you follow in the tournament, like I have several, Gamma youth athletes that compete there, in introductory tournaments, and I will watch them because of them, because I'm watching how they progress, watching how they grow in the sport. Will I go, hey, let me watch BJJ? I'm not going to say I would. I will watch it if it's on and I'm having to do something and I know people in there. But out the blue against other like the UFC or RAF or something like that, the answer will be no.
My brother's in the chat talking shit.
Oh, really?
He said him and his son are watching Be More Interested. You just got here, bro. Pay attention. We're interested. So, Coach
let me see if I can blow this up. See if I can see more of the screen. Anyway, hey, y'all, everybody give Chris a round of applause if you see me chatting. Chris has stepped his mother effing game up. So if y'all don't know me and Chris's long-going feud with one another, right? I was calling Chris lazy. I was calling Chris don't do shit. I was calling Chris couldn't put shit together if his life depended on it. Look at this. I am the guest on the Deepwater podcast.
That's right.
I'm like a proud papa right now. I got a tear in my eye because he's actually doing a good job. I will say this: his team is doing a great job. I don't know what Chris doing, but he's leading the pack. So I'm gonna give it to him because the shit looks nice.
What do you think about our new background?
I saw it, man. I like dope, and more dope. That's progression, man.
Now,
I love it.
This is where I'll give credit to the team. That background was all Lena.
Yeah.
The color scheme. I like the color scheme. She did a great job. She did a great job hooking us up with that.
Yep. Hey, Deepwater is doing what we said we're gonna do, and they're getting there with sponsors with freaking Real American Beer. That's awesome. We're good job, guys. Good job.
I made the can so that whenever I talk, it looks like I'm drinking beer.
Yeah.
So I got it pouring into my microphone.
Which I'm waiting for you to drink beer, but that's okay. You look professional, brother.
I got it right here. I've been drinking it. So, Coach G, I'm going to give you a little opportunity here before we roll into UFC and RAF. Why don't you tell us about CFC and what you're doing with Cage Fighting Championships?
All right, cool. All right, guys. So one of the reasons I took a back seat and let Chris lead and all that kind of good stuff, and I wasn't doing as much podcasting. As you know, as Coach D, I do tons of traveling. So not only with Gamma USA, the youth and amateur MMA internationally, I also do, what we were doing with Deepwater Podcast while I was traveling with them for RAF. I didn't miss one until recently, and that was because I now work with CFC as their media guys, and we put on, it's called Cage Fighting Championships, and we put on an event every month. So I'm traveling every month with Cage Fighting Championships. So if you put in a RAF event and a Gamma event all in the same month, I'm dead. I'm all over the world and back. And from plane, now I live in planes, or I'm driving 12 hours a day. It gets getting there. But we're back in Greenville. This card you're seeing right now is the main event: Weston Wilson versus Jeremy Holloway. That is a South Carolina versus North Carolina matchup. The kind of rivalries that we like is actually we have our own BMF belt, bad motherfucker belt. We got our own, and that's up for grabs. But MMA is my primary backyard, just like Chris's is wrestling. So when we came together with DEEPWATER Podcast, it's the MMA side and the wrestling side coming together, and we can talk shit and talk about fights. So this is me doing what I do in my backyard. So that's what Cage Fighting Championship is all about. So it's been fun. We're not quite a year yet. I think we're on our 11th fight, but that's where I've been. So if you guys wondering where I've been knocking that out. So I had to give the helm to Chris. You know how hard that was, fight fans. I said, Chris, you got it. And Chris took it and ran with it. He said, fuck what I was doing. I'm driving. He's driving at 90 miles an hour. He's doing good.
So give us some background on CFC. So is this a regional? Is it national? Are you guys going to move out of the South? Like what's
Well, like I said, we're brand new. We're regional right now. You know, our goal is to go around the United States. We don't believe in just staying in a backyard. So right now we've been to Greenville, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama. You know, so that's mainly our backyard right now. You know, we're looking at Florida, we're looking at Texas, because we want to go, you know, across the majority of the United States, and we want to be a feeder program for some of the bigger promotions. Like we want to be a feeder for, you know, the UFC. We want to be a feeder for now PFL with MVP. We'll talk about that in a minute, Chris. So, you know,
we got to talk about that.
That's our goal is to be a feeder program. So, you know, we got the budget to get the right fights. Now it's just name recognition. People get to know who we are. You know, because like I said, a lot the underbelly problem with promotions is they go up and they go down. You know,
yep.
The fact that the UFC has been around for almost 30-something years, which is still young compared to boxing and how long boxing has been around. You know what I'm saying? So the UFC is still young, but they're still at the highest level this late in the game, where Bellator is gone. PFL did reconstruction. You know, MVP is still new on the scene. Now you got mergers. Coker is finally coming back, and he has another program. Promotion looking to do. I don't even know the name of it yet, but it's not going to be Bellator. It's going to be something else. So to stay in the game and to stay at the top is hard to do. But that's why RAF is so huge, is that they picked a lane and able to make it as big as any other MMA promotion, which is unheard of, considering that it's wrestling. You know, so now they're going international. Now they're putting on, you know, behind the scenes tournaments for youth. You know, they're doing their own version of the Contender Series for youth athletes. The fact that they could do that in today's current market is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
That they're doing a Contender Series like UFC to get guys RAF contracts too.
Really?
That's
so they're gonna have a youth and a Contenders for adults. Okay, I missed that part. Hey, talk about it.
The youth term is just like a normal 12-month points. Think of the youth series kind of like NASCAR or the PGA.
Okay.
You play all your tournaments. You accrue points based on your finish for the season, right? Mm-hmm. And then the top 2 point getters so what RAF's doing at the end of the year, the top 2 kids in each weight class and age group with the 2 most amount of points will wrestle for an actual belt.
Oh, okay, I got you.
The RAF Next Gen champ for that age and weight that year.
Okay, I got you now. Okay, I got you.
They're doing a Contender Series just like UFC does, where 2 dudes. There's going to be a reality show. 2 dudes. They draft a team, and then whoever comes out at the end of the season gets a RAF contract and gets to wrestle in RAF.
Okay, nice. All right.
Yep. And then, the other cool thing about what RAF's doing is, remember, they're wrestling in an NBA arena this month. This weekend's in the Cleveland Cavaliers arena.
Yeah.
They're wrestling in an 18,000 seat stadium, and I guarantee you it's sold out.
I know it is. When I finally started paying attention to the card, I like how many names that they don't have on this card. The majority of this card is named fighters. I mean wrestlers.
Yeah. Well, I think we both kind of we said that their anniversary show, they weren't going to skimp. Like this card was going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's only one wrestling match that I would have liked to have seen on this card that's not on it.
What's that?
And I wanted to see Akhmadalev versus Sebastian Rivera for the lightweight championships. That championship could stop being vacant after 10 months.
Yeah, you're right. It's still vacant. What's your take on that? Why do you think it's still vacant?
Well, it's because I'll tell you why. Yanni got hurt. They didn't know how bad it was going to be, and then Yanni ended up being so hurt he retired.
Oh shit! Okay, I missed that part.
Now he's just coaching, and then Austin Gomez, the number 1 contender in that weight class at that point, like 2 months later, got like his 9th concussion and also retired from the sport. So there's like 3 dudes in the whole weight class. So they had to spend the last 6 or 7 months completely rebuilding and building up this weight. Now there's like 10 dudes in the weight class. Like it's a significant. Like you got Zane Rutherford, Akhmadalev, Sebastian Rivera. Like they've really spent a lot of time building the lightweight class up now. And Akhmadalev just beat Zane Rutherford at RAF, Georgia. Because Akhmadalev's now the number 1 ranked guy in the world in UWW rankings.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. So let me ask you this: How has your rankings matched up against RAF's rankings?
Well, so far not too bad.
Okay.
I had Harutian at 4 or 3. I had Harutian like at 3, and I had Davino at 4, and that match ended up being 6-5, and Harutian won.
Okay.
I had Zane and I had Wick and Nolf at 1 and 2. They're wrestling for a belt this weekend. I've got Sharapov and Hendrickson at 1-2. That match is at heavyweight. I had Sadulayev and Snyder at 1-2, and they wrestled at Georgia for the belt. I have Taz at 3. Well, now Snyder and Taz are wrestling a rematch at RAF Russia for the belt. I mean, so far, I mean, at least in the top 5 at most weights, it's pretty spot on. I get people that like will message me and say like, "Hey, you're putting guys in who have never wrestled. They just signed too high and this and that." I'm like, well, but the rankings aren't necessarily about who's better than who.
Yeah,
it's about like who has the belt and in what order based on everything. Because I take in like results outside of RAF, I take those into consideration.
Yeah.
Because there's so much wrestling outside of RAF, you can't just ignore it as far as your rankings go. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like to me, your RAF results, if I see 2 guys that are close, then I'll take the RAF results as my tiebreaker.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So
I also look at who they're competing against at RAF compared to who they're competing against, at a world or something like that. So if they're competing against somebody who's higher ranked skill wise or qualification wise to who they're competing against RAF, especially if it's an MMA fighter or something like that, then it's hard for me to count that RAF event compared to who they're competing against.
Yep.
So
I will say one ranking I'm actually pretty like happy with myself is they got Carr wrestling Sal Kazanov for the belt at RAF Cleveland.
And that's how I was looking at is also bounced off what you're saying is if they have a belt in RAF and their opponents don't go up in skill level each time they fight. If it's staying the same, or they mix matching, like 1 minute you got a qualified wrestler, the next minute you got a UFC fighter, and then I'm struggling with how do I even rank that guy? You know what I'm saying? Even though they're winning in RAF, I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, I said something about that a couple weeks ago. Like, I have that same kind of like irritation with what they're doing with Kennedy Blades.
Well, first of all, Kennedy, let's be real. Kennedy Blades is a star without wrestling.
Well,
she's becoming a hot commodity. I hate to say this for wrestling, but you know, she's becoming a kind of a sex symbol. Even though she's not getting hot, sexy hot. You know, she's looking cute. She can looking cute. What she's doing, she's wearing gear. So I'm pretty sure she is back now. Now, will she get? But that's across the board, though. There is nobody who's getting top tier matches as a female. We can't get none of our females matched at CFC. It is so hard to get our females matched. Well, I can imagine what they do in wrestling.
That's about to change. I'll show you that. What I'm saying to the Kennedy Blades is this is like going to be like our third match in a row against an MMA female fighter. And the reason I was frustrated is like I love watching Kennedy Blades wrestle, but I want to love watching Kennedy Blades wrestle against an equal caliber wrestler. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, who they got? I mean, first of all,
well, that's what I'm saying. My frustration is not with Blades.
Okay,
it's not with Blades herself.
Yeah,
it's with the matchups that are being made for her. Right now, speaking of a wrestling matchup, you're about to get Sarah Hildebrandt versus Lucia Yepes in Miami. That's Olympic gold versus Olympic silver. That's going to be, and RAF strawweight champ versus former strawweight champ because Sarah had to give it up because she was injured.
Mm-hmm.
That match, that is an elite premier RAF female wrestling match for a belt. Like, that's a match where I'm like, that's a women's match that's main event quality, bro. That's a main event caliber women's wrestling match for a RAF card.
Mm-hmm.
And they better put it there because it's their first female match. Well, I'll take that back. RAF Georgia had a very, very, very good female match in Helen Marulius' weight class that finished 7-6 with 2 takedowns that happened in the last 15 seconds. All
right. Let me ask you this: How many actual female weight classes do they have in RAF right now?
4 now because they just added cruiserweight.
That's more than I thought. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, 4 because they just added cruiserweight.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a couple. There was a great female match at RAF Georgia, and either one of them wrestling Helen would be a great title match.
Mm-hmm.
But Hildebrandt Yepes is like, that's headliner, premier. Like, if you want to put women's wrestling in the spotlight, that's the one to put.
Okay.
It's that legit. And that match is going to be crazy.
All right. So, like I said, I mean, well, first of all.
Plus, Lena had fun because she got to interview Yepes in Spanish. So she enjoyed that. She had a great time doing that.
but look, now they have to manage a juggernaut. When they first got started, their first 6-7 events, they were like, you know, hey, we're known, but we haven't turned that corner yet. They have now turned the corner. So making the right matches is going to cost a little bit. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Because now now everybody knows their worth. Before, everybody was happy to be on just to be on. Now people know, hey, pay me. I know you're paying.
Well, to be fair, a RAF guy that shows up and wins a RAF match makes more than a UFC fighter on a prelim card.
Hands down. Hands down.
They get 5 just to show up, dude.
Dude, look at
who we got. They get 5 G's. They get 5 G's just to show up.
Nice.
In RAF. If they win their match, they get another 10 G's.
Well, that's good and bad because Did y'all see Cejudo his last fight?
Yeah, I told him to leave his shoes on the mat. I don't want to see him wrestle ever again.
He looked so mother effing. It wasn't even the fact of how he wrestled, is how he looked wrestling. Him and Faber looked exactly alike. I was disgusted because of who they are. Not because anything can go wrong. You could be injured, you could be whatever, still obligate the fight. You know what I'm saying? But there are so many ways to cut weight and look the part. You don't have to fight the part, but you goddamn can look the part on the mat. I've seen guys cut weight injured and still look like they're ready to fight even though they couldn't fight.
You can't go up 8-0 and then lose the match, bro.
Yeah.
Especially to a guy that doesn't even know a wrestling stance.
Okay, and here's the thing. I apologize. This is what I'm gonna say. I dropped the ball on this one. The controversy came out fixed fight, and it came out a lot more so than I thought it would have. That they thought Cejudo could have possibly have thrown that match, and I meant to hit you up and go, that's a conversation that needed to be had, and I forgot to do it. So my bad on that.
Well, I mean,
because let's do it. Let's put it out there without anybody knowing these fighters. If I told you, say we met at a bar,
yeah,
and I told you Henry Cejudo is an Olympic gold medalist. He is a several-time UFC champion, right? Competing against Merab, who was a UFC champion but doesn't have any collegiate real wrestling background, and he was up 8-2, something like that, whatever, and he ended up losing. What would you say without knowing the full story? You would go, okay, that don't make any sense. I would go, hey, that might have been fixed. That might have been blah, blah, blah.
Well, to be fair, I would ask, what was the age gap first?
What is the age gap? That's a good question. What is the age gap?
I think Cejudo is like 38.
Oh, 38?
I think Cejudo is like almost 40 and Merab's like 32 or something. Let me look.
But like I said, we've seen Cejudo wrestle pretty decent. So are you saying he because
so Merab was born in 1991. And Henry was born in 1987. So a 4.5 year gap.
So you mean to tell me, I'm still looking at it from this point of view. You mean to tell me Henry Cejudo couldn't slow roll his way, stall his way? You know, technically you can't run, but technically drop a point versus multiple points in a 2-minute round to not maintain a win at his experience level?
Well, from watching the match,
yeah, I saw it too.
It looked like he was trying to put on moves for a show and didn't know when to go, oh, hey, entertainment time's over. I need to make sure I at least finish the match and win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Henry would throw it just because like wrestlers have more pride than that.
Like, and that's the trade-off for because let's look at the optics, right?
But we will do dumb shit for entertainment value. Like the RAF guys, there's matches that dudes lose that they would probably win in a different atmosphere because they're actively trying to do things to add entertainment value and trying stuff they wouldn't normally try in like a world championship bracket or a US Open bracket. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
I'm looking at it this way is whatever they did was good enough, probably, and ticket sales storytelling, fan pop, trend, whatever they were doing, they got a rematch at the top of this particular card with so many bangers and so many names on this card. The fact that they're at the top of it still says a lot about still what they did.
Well, they added a crossover belt for it.
Yeah.
So I would genuinely be shocked if Cejudo doesn't come out and tech fall him in like the first period.
Yeah. I'll say this, at least Cejudo, to his credit, he did go out and make some kind of personal statement on his own platform about the match. So he didn't just go shit happens and let it go like that. He did say, you know, it didn't go my way. I wasn't as sharp as I said. He gave his 2 cents on what happened. So he didn't dodge it.
Well, to be fair, he has to win this match because like I said, after he lost to Marab, like I could care less to see him wrestle again.
Yeah.
That was my initial reaction after the match was over. So like if he doesn't beat him this time, I really have no desire to see Henry Cejudo on a wrestling match. Like if he loses the second time, he needs to leave his shoes on and never step on a wrestling mat again. Like that's my personal feelings on it.
I was more pissed off at how fat he was. Because like I said,
you're not the first person to say that.
He still has a big enough. He has a big enough name, and he's still, compared to other MMA fighters on that mat, he's still one of the top 3 qualified people to be there. You know, granted on his skill level, so you can make the right matches for him, and he does just fine, right? So technically, Marab is supposed to be the right match. He wasn't supposed to lose to Marab. So
I agree.
That's why if he techs him this go around, then it automatically corrected itself. We're back in the game. The fact is it's for a belt, you know, has 2 questions. Number 1, is Marab here to stay? You know, he got a couple of fights in the UFC that can be made. Sean O'Malley, you know, being one. You know what I'm saying? So he got work to do in the UFC with no problem. He don't have to be at RAF. You know what I mean?
He probably is. I mean, Arman's here to stay, and he's fighting in the UFC next month.
What?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Arman's also, you know, we found out from the last press conference, Arman and Colby Covington are investors in RAF.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So, like,
which completely debunks all the shit I was saying. So now I got another thing I got to give to fucking Chris, right? Because my argument was star power to UFC is bigger than the star power in wrestling. And that's why all these MMA fighters are getting the top spot, meaning Marab and Kobe being the face of the platform because they were just better at selling the show, selling the matches, selling themselves, right? Then it pops off there. Both of them are investors in RAF. So why wouldn't they get that shit pisses me off so fucking much.
Speaking of Colby, who's beating that son of a bitch in RAF?
Yeah. Not only do I got to eat it talking to Chris, right? Yeah, he had fair arguments, but my only winning argument was the fanfare and who's getting the top spots. But if it's a paid for top spot, the fuck I gotta say? God damn it. Anyway, now Chris running the goddamn podcast. My life sucks.
The roles are reversed, my friend.
They are in a big mother effing way. But as you know about me, you see I don't run from it. I'm not going to make excuses for getting my ass handed to me. It's the price of doing business. Business.
I've had mine handed to me a few times too. It happens. It all depends what week it is.
It happens. It happens.
So let's talk about these guys right here, bud.
Yeah. So I'll lead with this one, right? I've been giving Islam a hard way to go.
Ooh,
right?
I got something for this. Hold on. I got something.
Go ahead. And look at Chris skill level. He throwing in transitions and shit.
Yeah, I got something for this. If the button works.
Uh-oh.
Start and show. Do it for me. I don't want to work. I had a poll for this.
Okay. Well, here's the good thing, fight fans, all kidding aside, is the Deepwater Podcast is supposed to be bigger than us. It's supposed to be a platform that takes us to the next level. So everybody at the top is supposed to step in and do what they got to do to keep the game going, because everybody got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So me and Chris have many conversations. At some point, he gonna have to run with this shit, right? And he did. So it happened. Oh, okay, I see it now. My shit.
Yeah, we got a little poll, bud.
Yeah. Oh, they said, let's see, what's it? Should Islam link with the UFC? Like, wait, and move back down. Hey, I agree. He should.
After that fight, I think he should.
Yeah, and that was the whole point of this. Moving a bigger fighter around for 5 rounds ain't no joke, because you don't hit as hard. As you can see, he wasn't going to knock him out, right? He was connecting. He wasn't pushing freaking him back at all. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a matter of who outfought who, which Islam did, which I give him credit for.
Yeah, now I look at it this way. If Ian Gary was like an Irish dude that lived in Ireland and not one who was Brazilian Irish, you might have had that Irish killer instinct enough to actually like not. This is a clear, cut and dry case of giving your opponent too much respect.
And he literally said it. I was going to do a podcast on how much Ian fucked himself by what he was saying. He was going, look, shit happens. I'm young in the sport. He's one of the best in the game. And he gave all this backseat talk to Islam and a couple other fighters, right? Saying my time will come, yada, yada, yada. If I was Dana White and I heard that bullshit, I go, you are going on the shelf, and the chance of you getting off, you have to shoot somebody at a fucking, drive-through to get back for me even paying you any kind of attention.
I mean,
he gave up all his credibility as being the next big thing. I
believe Dana said something to that effect in the post presser, didn't he?
I didn't hear it, but he should have. I
thought I saw something where he basically said if like Ian Gary had any killer instinct at all, he could have like taken him.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. He don't got no dog in him. He was too. Even Islam said he was too respectful with the head touching and all that kind of nonsense, right? When the first round, I get it. You want to see what your opponent could do. He held his own, yada yada yada, right? Ian was longer. His kicks could have easily been a weapon. Jabbing at a distance, using his footwork, he could have easily, at minimum, outpointed Islam.
If he just sticks to those body kicks, he might win the fight.
Yeah.
He was connecting with those body kicks, and they were hard.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was his coach, if I was Ian's coach, all you would have heard on the mic is, what the fuck are you doing? Because all you would have heard. Who taught you that shit? Not me. Right? Because he didn't do nothing to make adjustments from round to round. Nothing. And he had the weight and the height and the size on Islam.
If Ian wants to win, he needs to move to Ireland for a few years. Ireland, 2-3 years. Take care of it, Ireland, 2-3 years, no problem.
maybe he need to go to jail. maybe defending his booty for about 6 months.
No, he just needs to go to Ireland. Those Irish dudes are like I always make a joke. There's only 2 kinds of white people everyone's afraid of: the Russians and the Irish. That's it.
No, hey, them trailer park dudes. Hey, you gotta pay attention to them too.
To be fair, those trailer park dudes are probably Russian or Irish.
Well, that could be it. Yo, I'm just saying, nowadays, with the way the UFC is going, where they're cutting so many fighters, and they're only looking at star material for to get in any kind of main spots because of all the stuff they got going on with TKO and all that. You see Dana White's pushing towards boxing and all the other kind of other shit. To get in the top spots, to go for a title shot, you ain't gonna have the freedom to get there whenever you feel like it now. When you blow it like this, it's gonna be a hard road. You gotta damn near kill your next 3 opponents to even have a conversation.
Well,
get back to the title shot.
And Gary, I'll say something in Gary's defense a little bit here, just so that we keep it a little balanced. He did enough in that fight to show he belonged in the top tier. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Especially in the middle rounds, round 3 and 4, like you could see the talents there. It's just a mindset shift hump he's got to get over.
Well,
if that makes sense.
Kind of yes and no, because normally, how many fights have we seen where smaller fighters take on bigger fighters and the bigger fighters beat the shit out of them? That's normally how it goes, right? The fact Ian being a bigger fighter and had so many tools to beat Islam, and he couldn't do it out of mindset, not out of skill set, out of mindset, is the question to me.
Yeah, I'm just saying
he had enough to beat him.
I'm just saying I think that's easier to fix in a shorter time than it being a talent deficiency.
Okay. Yeah. That being said, I give you that.
You could put him against, because I think what was Gary ranked, like he was number 3 contender or something like that.
Okay.
Right, I think in lightweight, and there's 2 dudes above him. I think if you put him his next fight, if you were to put him against number 1 and number 2 contender, he's talented enough to fix that, to learn what he learned from here and fix that mindset and go out there and do his business against one of those guys and compete and have a chance to win that fight. Worst case scenario, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm just talking from shit point of view. I don't think he's done, right? I just don't know who his next opponent's going to be and what's going to be. Can he be a ticket seller after? Not only he didn't look horrible, but he didn't look like he's a world beater, and he didn't talk like one.
True,
so those 2 things could go against him.
True, but also to be fair, have you ever seen Islam with that much damage on his face after a fight before?
Yeah, I mean, that's also Islam going. It was always the conversation that Islam don't fight bigger fighters. So this is, to me, technically his first bigger fight, and he got a little bit of the business. He's always fought guys, that he's been bigger than.
Right. I'm just saying, but Gary's the first guy he's fought where Islam looked like he had a fight afterwards.
Yeah. He looked,
so there is some of that.
Like a normal guy fighting against Gary.
Now, Islam did his job in the fifth. Islam's fighting IQ in the 5th round to go, hey, I got to take this to the ground if I want to win this fight, because one of the judges had it fucking 3-2, dude, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's what changed my mind. What he did in the 5th round changed my mind of his IQ. You're correct.
Because, even with that, I still thought the fight was 4-1 Islam.
I did too.
For someone to do, I think it was 48-47, I was like, come on, man. What are we doing?
Well, we got so much betting going on today. I don't know. I don't even know what judge is going to call nowadays.
And to be fair, Islam dominated that first round so much that you could have argued it was 10-8.
Yeah, you could. It'd be a reasonable conversation to have.
Not to mention the face kick that put Gary on his ass.
And that's what I was like, okay. Gary could get caught against a smaller fighter. So a bigger fighter who got reach and size compared to Gary may give him the business.
maybe, but the chances are the guys. Is there a more skilled fighter in lightweight than Islam? Probably not, right? Skill wise, right? Probably not. Right?
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
mean, Islam got dominant skill sets. I mean, do I consider him the most well-rounded fighter? No. Does he have dominant skill sets? Yes.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like, if you put Gary against someone else, like, is someone else going to be skillful enough to be able to catch him with a kick to the face? Probably not, right? It's hard to catch someone with a kick to the face in UFC.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. But like I said, it was a good educational fight for me. Is that Islam does have an IQ. He's not playing to the brass, right? He knows how to make the right adjustments when he has to. He's not showing off to get points. At the end of the day, he knows I better win this the way I need to win this. And he did.
Now, let's talk about some more absolute shit ass scoring.
Okay.
Listen, Mackenzie Dern, first of all, absolutely dominated that fucking fight. Except for the fifth round.
From what I've seen she did.
Rounds 1 through 4, she fucked that chick up.
Yeah.
Round 5, she kind of just coasted her ass to fucking victory, and she's a little gassed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to these scorecards. 49-46. Okay. That tracks, right? 49-46, right? This is exactly the same as Islam Machado. 49-46, 49-46, 48-47. The same fucking judge. 48-47 in both fights. Get that motherfucker out. They should never judge a UFC fight ever fucking again. Here you go. Same thing. Prelims. Njoku Alvarez. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Gore Luque. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. That same fucking judge, every single card that there was a score, that it went the distance, 1 point difference.
Yep.
The other judges clearly were like, no, this motherfucking guy's ass whooped. But this one judge, every single fucking fight, 29-28, 29-28, 48-47, 48. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're absolute hammered dog shit.
I'm telling you, I feel it. I can't prove it just yet. It got something to do with betting, because there is no way two judges see it one way and another judge is so far. He's in a position to where he can't see what they're saying. That makes no sense.
It was every single fight that didn't end in a KO or a submission.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Charles Johnson with another Scottish twister. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's 2 in the last month.
Yeah.
That's what is happening?
Hey, welcome to corporate America. Because Dana White is not, he's not touching matchmaking. He's not touching nothing. He's literally just a face. He shows up, makes sure ain't nobody going to prison, does a after fight post, and that's it. He got no say in what goes on. It's a corporate entity now. So the bottom line is the bottom line.
Well, whoever that third judge was, get him the fuck out of here, dude.
He's probably there for a reason. The fact that there was because back in the day, Dana White is gonna blow a gasket if that happens more than a couple of times in key fights. In key fights, he's gonna say something. He'll go, okay, that ref is garbage.
You know what though?
Get
it. I get it if it's like one fight, dude. If you see one fight and the other judges, like these two other ones, the other judges were like, it was 3-0, dude. Mm-hmm. These dudes won all 3 rounds. And this guy's like, nah, dog, it was 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, if 2 people see it 3-0, I guarantee you, me sitting there watching on TV, saw it 3-0.
Yeah.
Just like when I saw the Dern fight, I was like, oh, that's 4-1, easy. Easy. When I saw Islam, well, one, he got a knockdown, and that wasn't even taken into account for the score because there's 0-10-8 fucking scores on here. Unless
I'm with you. I have no argument.
To be fair, unless this judge that went 48-47 saw 3 rounds to 2, and the other 2 judges also saw 3 rounds to 2, but they gave 10-8 each to Islam for the face kick, and this judge scored everything 10-9.
But we'd have saw that. It'd have played itself out, and if you look at the whole score sheet, we would have called it. We'd have seen where he made those adjustments.
But to me,
I didn't see it.
To me, it looks like they didn't give Islam a 10-8 round for a knockdown. None of the judges did. 49-46 means 4 rounds to 1, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So if they're both
even, it would have been a 10-8 round. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm trying to think, would that be a 10-8 round? Not sure on that. I gotta look at it again. We may want to do a watch the fight together blow by blow commentary. Since you all high tech and shit now.
I can do it. I know how to put a video on here. I can do it.
We may have to with no sound, of course, but we may have to do that because I hear what you're saying, but I gotta relook the knockdown and what happened before and after that. That's gonna tell the story.
Well, I mean, he kicked him square in the face and he fell on his ass.
Oh no, I know, I saw the kick, but like I said, it's not automatically a 10-8 round if Ian got damage back before the round was over.
Oh, he did.
I can't remember.
He got kicked in the face, fell down, stood up, and Islam got 3 or 4 more in and then put him on the mat.
Okay, well then you may be right.
Because the reason I say I don't think anybody gave him a 10-8 is because the Mackenzie Dern fight was 49-46, 49-46, 48-47 too. It was like identical.
Yeah.
And I don't think Mackenzie knocked her down once.
Mackenzie was only in any kind of danger through that whole card of what I saw was only in the 5th round. I ain't seen it nowhere else.
And that's what I mean. Like, there's no way you can judge those 2 fights and get the same exact scores.
No, I agree. Especially with the Mackenzie Dern fight. Especially.
Yeah, Mackenzie Dern should have been 49-46 across the board.
Across the board, easy.
Which is separate tangent I'm not going to go on because I'm not going to do it. But 10-9 scoring in MMA is fucking dumb as fuck. They need to stop it anyway. That's all I'm going to say about that because it doesn't accurately score a fucking MMA fight. This isn't goddamn boxing where all you can do is punch motherfuckers. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, judges used to pay that shit a little bit more attention than they do now because they've rewritten the rules several times since the 10-8 system was in place. So I don't know what it means now. Be straight up with you. I know what it used to mean.
Clearly it means fuck all, and we just want to score it based on who we think wins, and that's it. Who cares about damage? Who cares about fucking takedowns? Oh, or get a takedown, do nothing with it. We're still going to give you credit for getting one. Like, get the fuck out of here. Do something.
You
do something with it.
You remember how corrupt old school boxing was, where you got to knock a fighter out. Because remember Holmes versus Cooney?
Yeah.
Where Holmes was beating Cooney every round, and if he didn't knock him out, he would have lost. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
That's where we basically at now.
I mean, you can even go back to like the first Triple G Canelo fight.
Yeah.
Like Triple G won that fight. And the judges were like, nah, dog. You don't make money like Canelo does, homie.
and now that we're in corporate America firmly, it's gonna be more like that. So fighters gonna know going in that we ain't knocking the motherfucker out, choking the motherfucker out. We at risk of losing, regardless of how well we're doing round by round.
Now, to be fair, this card was not as good as the previous card.
It wasn't. Because like I said, I didn't even know. If you didn't text me and say, hey, Dern is doing whatever, I would have missed the whole card. I forgot it was on Friday. I wasn't thinking about that.
No, it was on Saturday.
Was it Saturday?
Yeah, it was.
Damn, then my days was fucked up.
I know because me and my wife got on the train, went to Chicago, watched the Cubs game, got back on the train, came home, and I got home in time to watch the 5 main cards.
Gosh.
So I know it was Saturday because I was at the Cubs game.
Damn. Why the fuck was I thinking it was Friday? Anyway, I don't know.
The only reason I watched it is because Islam was fighting.
Well, yeah, that's the reason I was watching it. I wanted to watch it too.
And to be fair, like, this isn't going to be like even the next card is going to be really good.
No, I'm excited.
Next 2 cards are going to be really good.
Yo, I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be around for this. This is going to be effing awesome, dude. My feelings is hurt, but hey, I got a job to do, man. So
for which one?
For 12, RAF 12.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, there's the card.
Yeah,
so,
I was looking at it now. That's what I've been looking at the whole time.
So I know what you're excited about. Let me tell you the match as a wrestling fan. First of all, as a wrestling fan, there's cards all over the place. There's matches all over the place in this card that makes you ready to go, boy. Let me tell you. But Ono versus Divino is as the first match on the card. Oh my God.
Now, I will say this before I let you go, right? You know me, I have to research names. They don't automatically, I don't automatically know who they are. These guys are so popular that they hit my old ass news feed.
Yep.
That I got people going, if you're not watching RAF for Ono Divino, then you don't know about wrestling. I actually seen somebody say that.
That's absolute facts. And there's a good chance they'll be wrestling in college against each other this year too, bud.
Yeah.
This match is Divino's 19, Ono is 20. Ono is the Japanese Bo Bassett.
Yeah.
He won U20 Worlds and Senior Worlds in the same year.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Now I know I'll admit I know more about Ono than I do Divino, but
Divino
too.
Divino finished third at NCAAs or second.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Jack Torres. But Divino's wrestles at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be the first, that's what they're going to open the night with, dude. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Well, if you needed a set the tone scenario that makes everybody buy tickets early, that was it. They did that correct. They did that 100% correct. And after you reminded me of the venue, that was 100% the right thing to do.
Well, to be fair, they did the same thing at RAF 11. It was in Milwaukee, and they had Keegan O'Toole wrestle the first match, and that first match was electric.
Mm-hmm.
They started that night off, boom, through the roof, and they're going to do the same thing at 12.
Who's all going to the event? What DEEPWATER team is going?
Me, Lena, and Mateo.
We're West. Matter of fact, where's Wesley and what the fuck are they doing?
Wes is back at college.
Okay.
So Wes started school this week.
Oh, cool.
So he's back, back with that. That's why we do the podcast on Wednesdays normally, because that's when Wes is the most free. And I got my last year of my apprenticeship starting next week, and it's Monday and Thursday nights. So we do the podcast early. But then once Angelo's wrestling season starts, they do dual meets on Wednesdays. So we'll probably have to move the podcast to Tuesdays from November to February, and then we can go back to Wednesday.
Okay, well after like I said, past the first of the year, I can't believe I'm saying this. You can actually put me in rotation.
Yeah, so in November we'll probably have to move it to Tuesdays.
Okay.
Until states happens in February, and then I can go back to Wednesdays because I'll be school Monday, wrestling Wednesday nights, school Thursday, and then depending on where RAF is, Friday will be a travel day, Saturday will be RAF once a month. You know what I mean?
Shoot, you probably gonna have to learn how to do the show on the road. Because
I can do it. All I need is this laptop and that camera, and I take that camera to cover the RAF events anyway.
Because I'll be back on rotation. The first of the year, so I'll be at some of the RAF events. So
yeah, so I can do it on the road right now with the same exact setup I have right now in front of me.
Cool. See, there you go. Now I can officially call you a podcaster. Yo, do you know how much shit I give Chris credit? He don't fire back like I fire back. I'm like, fuck what you talking about, right? Chris held it together, and this did his motherfucking job, and now he's a podcaster, and he done brought in deals, done brought in sponsors we've been working on since day one, done close it on his watch. He got that officially in his resume. He closed Real American Beer on his watch. Ain't shit I can say. That's what you do.
200% American, baby.
Yeah,
200% American.
And he had Muggsy on the podcast, which was dope. When I saw that, I was like, "Fucking A right."
Well, we can thank my boy Anton for that.
Hey, your podcast though. Hey, Anton, I appreciate what you did, but this deep water, baby.
I'll be doing an interview with Anton probably this weekend on his podcast.
Cool.
So people got to watch out. People got to watch out for that episode. He's gonna get the story behind Deep Water.
I will officially let Chris call himself a podcaster now. Now, if I'd have heard that anytime earlier, I mean, the fuck he not. I would have went live and go, let me tell you what Chris ain't.
I'm gonna make that my name now. It's gonna be Chris the Podcaster from now on the bottom there.
Cool.
It's gonna be Chris the Podcaster from now on. I'm gonna add it to my title.
You can. I am officially putting my first stamp seal of approval on, because Chris now knows putting on a podcast is not easy, right? And granted, he did it the smart way. He got a team together that gets the shit done. So you look at his graphics, look at everything. He did it the right way. That's how you're supposed to do a podcast. Your team is supposed to cover all the shit so that you can be the face of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, Chris,
to be fair, I do all this stuff myself besides the background.
Well, I mean, you still got a team.
That's true. I have a social media team. They're real good at it. They're real good at it.
There you go.
They're consistent. Lena knows how to make graphics. She knows how to cut videos. We get them posted regularly. We get interactions. And
it's all in the family, was the big thing.
Yep, it's starting to come together. We trust each other. That's the most important part. We know no one here is going to screw each other, so that's a plus.
Hey, they better trust you. They know when they sleep. I wish a motherfucker would. I have something to say. Now I'm talking old school. I wish a motherfucker would say something.
That's why I don't pay no rent.
Exactly. They better work. Let Taylor go, Dad, I can't do that. The fuck you can't.
No, they don't.
My voice will go hoarse the amount of shit I was talking about what you can't do.
They don't give me no problems, man.
That's good. And it looks good, man. Good job. Continue.
So we touched on this earlier. Sal Kazanov. I've been waiting for this match. I think Sal Kazanov's going to beat him, to be honest.
All right, walk us through what makes this match a good match. I mean, I know the players, but walk the fans through. What makes it specifically a good match?
James Green just beat David Carr at Final X, 2 matches to 1.
Yep. Saw that.
And we all remember, me and you were both at RAF when Sal Kazanov beat Green, came back from 4-0 and beat Green 4-4 on criteria.
There you go.
Then Sal Kazanov moved up a weight and beat Nate Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's back down to wrestle Carr.
You know what? So I forgot. I mean, I know all the individual matches you just talked about, but I didn't put them all together to just now, right? He beat all the up and coming names that were getting ready to become names. If he beats Carr, he technically is the man.
And if Sal Kazanov beats Carr, he'll be the first non-American RAF champion.
Yeah. Woo! That's gonna sting.
Yeah, he'll be the first non-American to hold a RAF belt.
The odds, I would like to see the odds on this one. I might have to hit up West and see what the odds are at on this one. That's a moneymaker right there.
And to me, in my worldview, Sal Kazanov's actually the favorite here.
Yeah, considering Carr just came off a loss, so technically he has to bounce back. So he's not the front runner, even though he has the belt. He's not the front runner.
Carr's had an interesting year so far. He got 5th at the U.S. Open, which meant he had to go to the World Team Trials.
Mm-hmm.
He did win World Team Trials, which is what got him in the Final X.
Yeah.
And then he lost to James Green twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I put out something after that saying, hey, James Green's the same weight class as Carr at RAF. He just beat him twice. Probably time to give Green his belt shot.
But isn't Green an older fighter, older wrestler?
Yeah, I mean, Green just made his 9th world team by beating Carr.
Yeah.
Right? But I get why they gave it to Sal Kazanov, because even though Green just beat Carr, Sal Kazanov does have the win over Green in RAF.
Over Green, yeah. Yeah. No, that's the right match to make. They made that legitly. And it's a qualified match. He beat top guys to get in the position that he's in. It's not like they didn't give it to him.
This is Carr's first match in RAF against an actual wrestler.
Actual wrestler, yeah. Which is
ridiculous.
Finally, which is not a good thing.
Which has been my complaint the whole time, right? We've had this conversation. It's been my complaint numerous times about, like, Carr's the champ, but, like, when are we going to fill out? Now, I mean, he's got an Olympic silver medalist defending a current Olympic gold medalist, Sal Kazanov, Green. Like, they filled the weight class out decently now. They still got to fill it out some more, but it's there now.
Well, for star power, I see why they did Carr the way that they did him, which is fine. Because look how much press Carr has got. Dad done came out, put a belt around his dad. They got a story on him. You know, Carr got a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Not disagreeing.
Huh?
Not disagreeing. Not disagreeing.
Like I agree. Sal Kazanov, how you ever say his name, he had to come up, and I'm not going to say in the dark, right? But only if you didn't map it out the way that you did, nobody will put those pieces together and go, okay, he beat everybody who mattered to get in the position that he's in now. So
100%.
Carr is not the front runner in this, even though he has the belt.
That's my prediction. I'm picking Sal Kazanov by points over Carr. I think Sal Kazanov's going to win the belt.
And Sal Kazanov got the momentum.
Yeah,
he's fought nothing but wrestlers, nothing but top tier wrestlers. I'm not saying Carr came off his game. I'm not saying that, but he banked on the entertainment factor, which I can't knock him because that's the game that we're in. But now it's time to wrestle. Is he 100% at the level he would have been if he wrestled all the way up to this point?
Yeah, I mean,
all wrestling stars.
You know, RAF's kind of like that, right? Like, yeah, you got the entertainment factor, but at the same time, like, you got to keep your belt.
Yeah. So this is when the conversation comes into question over entertainment over the sport. This right here, this match, is that exact question.
Me personally, when you're wrestling, when you're fighting or wrestling for a belt, right? Like, because UFC fights happen like that. You get a guy in a championship fight, and that dude does what he needs to do to keep his fucking belt. He doesn't care if the fans like it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of the same here, like.
But also, you have to wrestle at the level that he's now going to wrestle at. Yep. When it came to RAF, he was never wrestling at the level he had to wrestle at until now.
Like, to be fair, Kazanov is a pure wrestling fan match, and I'm gonna be entertained either way because the level of wrestling is gonna be phenomenal. And I'm not saying that like this could be one of those matchups where these guys still score a lot of points and still have phenomenal wrestling.
Yeah, but
it
also
have to be a 2-1 or a 3-2 match. You know what I mean?
But also, even though you're saying this is a pure wrestler's dream, that's not necessarily the case anymore, considering where Carr is at. He built his RAF name on the entertainment side of the game, even though we all know his wrestling accolades, right? And any casual fan who's got on board also knows him because who he wrestled in RAF.
Now, the other thing I like about, like, there's several matches. You got Ono Davino, Carr Kazanov with Wick Nolf, Nickel McAnally.
Yeah.
Right? Like, all these matches, what I like about them is, especially Wick Nolf, Ono Davino, and Carr Kazanov, right? RAF is putting the matches together not just for the entertainment value. They're giving guys the shots they deserve. Like in RAF, guys who deserve a belt shot are getting a belt shot.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
They did what they had to do to get into the position to be accepted now in what they're doing. Because like you already said, Chris, you are a die-hard wrestler. You could spend 20 minutes giving me names that I have nothing about. But then I look them up and go, fuck, these guys are fucking these guys. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yep. So they had to get casual fans, when it comes to wrestling, to look up wrestlers. Yep. To go, okay, this guy's fighting so-and-so. Let me look him up. Now they're doing that. So now you at a point that you now can say, this is what they should have been doing in the beginning, but they had to get to this point. Now they can do it and nobody questions it. Everybody's looking them up now.
Well, you know to be fair, they always had a good amount. They always did a good job of like having wrestling matches on the card that wrestling fans want to see, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, contrary to what the UFC does, RAF will put the guys in the championship bout matches that have earned their way there, and UFC doesn't do that anymore. Does that make sense?
Well, and I'm not going to say they're cutting down on the shitty fights, but they're starting to cut down on the shitty fights, like Tony Ferguson. I mean, matches, not fights, matches. Like Tony Ferguson, you know, Woodley versus Buckley is good enough for where they're at.
Well, I like Woodley versus Buckley only because, like, it's kind of like when you watch like an NFL game, right, or a baseball game, or any pro sports game, right?
Yeah.
When you get like the two worst teams in the league to fight to play a game against each other, because they're both so bad, they're actually equally matched, and it turns into a super exciting, entertaining game.
Well, but also it still has its own conversation. Is who would you think would win the crossover belt? You know what I'm saying? You can legitimately have that conversation that has nothing to do with pure wrestlers.
Yeah,
so that's what the conversation they have on its own. You know
the crossover belts were a good idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea. It was a great. It diminished our arguments, hands down. We no longer have our argument against MMA wrestling.
They're bringing the MMA guys in, but now you don't have to waste everybody's time and have them wrestle wrestlers every time, right? You're still going to get, even on this card, you're still going to get Burroughs Brady, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine because Burroughs is going to Russia in 2 weeks and wrestling a fucking stud.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. Give him Brady. Let him get used to the atmosphere. Let the crowd enjoy watching one of the greatest American wrestlers of all time do his thing and be entertaining and have fun. And then send him to Russia, where everyone who's going to be in that arena wants to see wrestlers wrestle because it's the most popular sport in Russia. And have Burroughs wrestle a fucking dude. Yep. I love that formula. It's a great idea.
That was the reason why I'm mad. Not mad because job's a job. That I'm not gonna be able to be there to see Burroughs. You know, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna be there live because out of my fanboys are Muhammad Ali, right? Mike Tyson, Demetrius Johnson, and Burroughs. Those are my fanboys. If I, like I said, you know, I would want the chance to meet all the I missed Muhammad Ali. I missed him by an hour. That haunts me. I was in South Africa. They just lifted the ban that Marines were allowed to go to South Africa, right? Muhammad Ali was doing a conference at South Africa. I was coming back from not Zimbabwe. I forgot where I was at. Mutai, where the fuck I was at. But I had to go through
somewhere in Africa.
Yeah, I had to go through South Africa. I had to go to South Africa to catch the plane that I was going to go back to get to Gaborone, Botswana, right? And I had a layover of maybe 3 hours, something like that. And I saw on the news where Muhammad Ali was going to be, and he wasn't that far from where I was at. I hauled ass to get to where he was going to be at, got caught in traffic, and missed him. I almost cried in the cab. I was like, God dang it. And after that, you know, he had passed away by the time I got a chance to, you know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, between Jordan Burroughs and Kyle Snyder, the last decade of American wrestling, like, those two guys are the dudes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Like, those two guys are like that's literally probably two of the 5 best American wrestlers of all time.
Mm-hmm. And that you can argue like if you had to pick names that who kind of carried wrestling on their back, not so much just how good they were, that people paid attention because of them. That I would never have cared about tennis if it wasn't for Serena Williams, the sisters, right? I would never cared about golf if it wasn't for Tiger Woods, you know, right? I didn't really care much about basketball except for Jordan, you know what I'm saying? You know, Burroughs was one of the guys that got me watching wrestling as much as participating in wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
If we go historically, like, dudes that made the sport like exponentially jump in their eras.
Yeah.
You know, it's Gable, it's John Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, Kurt Angle and Rulon Gardner winning gold medals at in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then boom, it's Snyder Burroughs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, John Smith went Olympic champ, world champ, world champ, world champ, Olympic champ.
Mm-hmm.
No American wrestler's ever done that to this day. No American wrestler ever besides John Smith has ever gone Olympic champ, won every world gold, and another Olympics in a 2 Olympic cycle ever.
Well, for the casual, is they didn't know what that meant to somebody they watched, told them what that meant. You know what I'm saying? So say your favorite news reporter was who I can't think of my name. Right.
I did a whole tirade on why ESPN's hammered dog shit last week. So
yeah, ESPN's gonna get set on fire. How you blow the biggest sports channel ever after it moved away from NBC and CBS? Because remember, the only way you could watch sports was on NBC, CBS. There was no sports channel. You know what I'm saying?
NBC, that was it.
Yep. Then finally, ESPN came on live, and they cornered the markets.
They lost their soul, dude. They lost their soul. That's what they did. They lost what the heart of it was we're gonna do Sports Center, and we're gonna say funny ass shit and be entertaining. We're gonna cover sports, and the guys who we have broadcast are gonna say funny ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just gonna cover sports and have a good time. And then at some point they're like, let's just be as boring as fucking possible.
And let's create controversy where it shouldn't be something. You get more sex scandals than you get sports now.
And then at some point they decide let's destroy college football and everything it stands for.
Yeah,
that's ESPN 100%. I put that 100% on ESPN.
Yeah.
So it's and then you cover WWE but not RAF. Fuck out of my face. WWE is not a real sport, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I gotta remember who owns ESPN now. Is it Disney?
Fucking Disney and ABC.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, there you go. You know, all three of those companies are absolute dog shit now. So
that tells you all you need to know. You need to know.
Like Disney, how do you fuck up Star Wars and ESPN, bro? How do you fuck up both of those things? You're right. And B, I don't see the advantage of that. What were they hoping to accomplish by how bad it's gotten? If they're trying to sell it, just sell it. The older I get, the more I realize the 90s were the best time to ever live in America ever. It's been all downhill since.
I really like, I always make the joke, I've lived too long, right? There's a bridge I've been eyeballing that I may take a visit to, because
a swan dive does feel pretty good right now, honestly.
It sure enough does. Bill Burr got it right.
It's like, dude, what we got to do, just like what we got to do, is go back to just enjoying day-to-day life.
I think the more we see the shit we see, the more how doing the Deepwater podcast was the right thing to do. We are the last. I ain't say the last. It's pretty more like I said. We are a dying breed.
Well, yeah. Political correctness.
Actually say what a sport is supposed to be. Like, that makes sense compared to what I'm seeing now. I don't recognize so much shit right now, and I should recognize it, and I don't.
Here's the best part about this: is political correctness doesn't exist here. This is our political correctness safe space. Mm-hmm. And neither one of us get canceled because of how we get our income. So fuck them.
Yeah. On top of that,
who are you going to call and get us fired? Yeah. Wait, let me think. You can't. You can't. And then you go, well, he was a Marine. I was a sailor.
What? At the core, we don't even give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm still willing to pick a fight in a skinny minute and go live doing it.
Yeah.
In a skinny minute. If you've gone too far, we can go live. That's all I got to say.
We'll do that on here between the two of us. You're like, Chris, he's like, Chris, you get a little fuck crazy now. You get a little crazy now.
Yo, the funny part is, and I don't have the high ground no more. Do you know how much that stings, people? You know how much that stings? That stings. That stings. I wanted to kill Chris in traffic. Now I gotta hear what he has to say.
Look,
that sucks.
The Padawan has become the teacher.
He can pull out his own lifesaver. He can pull out his own lifesaver, y'all. Y'all don't fucking understand. But I am proud. He has proven me wrong in the only way that matters. Because we can find a loophole to talk shit about. We can talk about sports. I can find a loophole. There's a motherfucker out there that ain't doing shit that I can throw in the mix and fuck shit up. But when you hit live and it's your live, you done the work for it to go live. Ain't shit I can say.
Hey man, I got pictures. I got videos. Like,
he does. He
we
does.
never, when you watch so after RAF Russia, that Wednesday will be our ranking, me and Anton's ranking show. So we're always going to do the rankings a week after the international show. So I got 2 events worth of data to redo my rankings. So I'm not just putting out the same bullshit every week. You know what I mean? Or every month. You know what I mean?
Here, let me tell fight fans. Let me tell you how big Chris has done it. That I don't think he's even realized.
You're probably
I
right.
have no reason to go to Indiana at all. At all.
But it's so
he's giving me a reason to show up and do a live podcast with him in the same room with him.
The weather's so nice up here, dude.
I don't give 2 shits.
The winter sucks.
I had no plans on coming to Indiana because I didn't have to. I can hit live from this end. But he's done such a good job, and I'm so proud of him. I'm willing to show him the respect to go up there and do a podcast with him just to show the level of respect he has earned from me for what he has accomplished, considering I didn't think he was going to do it.
Well, you let me know when, and I'll make time for it. I'll clear my schedule.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Are we going to be in the same room? Like I said, now that I've gotten a lot of this shit, because like I said, CFC growing is a big order. So we got most of the stuff figured out. So I got it down to a science. So beginning of the year, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. So I'm mad that, like I said, this is the only thing that I was making plans for this to be it. For me to come up for RAF 12. That was the game plan.
Yeah.
But our event is on the exact same day, so ain't nothing shit I can do about that.
Hey, when we get off air, I'll give you some information you can make plans for.
All right.
Because it hasn't been announced yet, so I can't say it out loud. I don't want people to know what I know.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I think
I'm excited for that.
So I think I found out by accident. So.
Hey, it don't matter how you find out. But like I said, so Blaze has become a big star. Who's this Ava Sharagovov female? She any good?
Just some random Russian MMA fighter, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I do want to touch on this. We've already seen Wick Nolf at RAF 01. Wick upset Nolf.
Yeah.
For the first belt at RAF 01. So that's interesting for this rematch because Nolf basically gave up jiu-jitsu and is solely focused on wrestling again. So I think this match will have a different outcome.
Okay.
So keep that in mind that Wick did beat him at RAF 01 for that belt.
Oh, yeah.
And now that belt's vacant too, and they're immediately re-wrestling for that belt again.
Okay.
1 year later. So that's a cool little nugget storyline for Wick Nolf.
Yeah. Like I said, what's a solid matchup all the way around?
And then Bo Nickel McAnally. So this one involves a lot of shit talking. So this actually will be I'm going to have fun at the press conference on Friday with these two guys. So as you know, we did a little motivational post for Max McAnally, and he was gracious enough to see it and share it. And that post got like 27,000 views and like 1,000 likes.
Nice.
And probably at least 20 or 30 people that followed him followed us as a result.
Nice.
So I'm making it a personal mission to have a conversation with Max McAnally after the presser on Friday.
Okay.
You get Caleb Smith, same thing. Caleb Smith actually we did one for him. He saw it, he shared it, and he followed us. So we're getting I appreciate the wrestlers that remember their fans are who make them what they are. So
well, like I said, they're not too big to show appreciation, which does get lost in the sauce sometimes. All right, so what's your take on Bo Nickal in this matchup? First of all,
So this matchup, Bo Nickel actually called out Max McAnally to wrestle at RAF after McAnally won the NCAA championship this year.
Okay.
And Max basically told him, quit being a bitch and wrestle me. And ironically, they're wrestling at catchweight, but whatever. So these two have been talking back and forth quite a bit on the old X. I think McAnally's gonna fucking beat him personally.
Yeah.
And believe me, me and you both know the crowd wants McAnally to beat him.
Yeah. Let's be real with it. When was the last hardcore wrestling match Bo Nickel had that you can remember off the top of your head? Exactly. Now, for you to have to pause tells me everything I need to say. One of the things I respect about you is your ability to have the information on hand at the top of a hat has always been impressive, right? Always been impressive. I don't tell you too much because fuck you, but the fact that you had to pause and think about it tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, because I can't remember off the top of my head who he wrestled to win the RAF belt.
Mm-hmm.
Because light heavyweight was a different weight class then, and all the good guys at light heavyweight were at heavyweight at that time.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't think all this bad press and lack of momentum and lack of real meaningful fights and his name not being mentioned is not fucking with him right now, then somebody who's actually been talking shit back to him. So now ain't nobody scared of him. Because before, Mystique goes a long way.
Yeah,
he was Bo motherfucking Nichols, right? No one was talking shit at him at one point. Now everybody's talking shit to him.
Well, and the other thing is, like, I feel like Izzy and them were trying to do him a solid, and he kind of fucked them.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And it's like and he did it after he lost his first UFC fight. Like, what are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? Like, he loses his UFC fight, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm not wrestling Yo Romero." And they're like, "Okay, well, we'll give you this guy." And he's like, "Nah, dog, I'm good." And then just doesn't wrestle a RAF. And then they stripped him of his belt because of it.
And that right there should have been the nail in his coffin. The fact that you have to get your belt stripped, not from an injury of lack of participation, because of unwillingness to wrestle.
Because you chose not to compete.
Yep.
Which Izzy has said since day one, like, we bring people in here to compete.
Yep.
Like, we don't just leave people on the roster.
Yep. And the fact that he should have been begging to wrestle just to get his name back in the win column. I mean, I would have fought. I would have wrestled a Buster just to get back in the win column. B, keep my mouth shut and let my name come back the way it's supposed to. Because if nobody is saying he wasn't one of the best wrestlers out there, when he was at his peak, ain't nobody saying that.
My thing is,
who the ass he has become now is now tarnishing that reputation. That's what we're saying now.
My thing is, like, I feel like he called out McAnally out of desperation, and he got lucky that McAnally was like, "Yeah, fuck you, I'll do this."
Yeah. And look who called out who.
I think personally this match happened because Bo Nickel got lucky, and McAnally was like, "Yeah, why not? I'll do this shit."
Let's think about it.
Yeah, the fact that Bo had to be the one to initiate
exactly
in the first problem, but
yeah, do you realize your name is officially gone when you're supposed to be the king of the hill, and you have to call out somebody, and it was the grace of God. He says, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
not because it's the right match to make, and Izzy was on it. Everybody was on it. It just happened to caught on that Bell got noticed of the call out, and the guy said, "You know what? I ain't doing shit. Let's go ahead and run it."
To be fair, it is a good matchup. The guy is the current NCAA champ.
It on paper, it's a good matchup. Where Bo currently stands, is it?
Well, I'm a little bit, right? Like, Bo Nickel still has some luster to his name because McNally, like, imagine if McNally says, you're washed up, fuck you, and doesn't do it. He could have killed Bo Nickal's career right there on the spot.
Yeah, he could have.
He could have literally killed his RAF career right there and said, "No."
Here's what I'm saying, right? About the mystique of your name and your accolades, right? We are giving Carr some bit of shit because he didn't wrestle any wrestlers at RAF, and then got the business on the world stage, right? But we still give him the credit for who he is as a wrestler. Right. Can we give Bo the credit as a wrestler because he hasn't wrestled the way he should be wrestling in such a long time? Well, we can put him in the category of a Cejudo. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I asked this question to Anton in the Rankings podcast a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I go, is Bo now a crossover belt guy, or is he still a RAF champion guy? Where do we put him now? Is he an MMA crossover guy now, or is he still a wrestler?
That is a fucking good ass. Hey,
where do we put him?
Chris is a podcaster now. Did you hear the meat on that bone? That is a A+ question in the era that we're in when it comes to crossover between wrestling and MMA. Bo's name is wrestling. His accolades are known for wrestling. Everything he's done since being in the UFC has been based around MMA. The way he tries to talk shit when he fails consistently. His up and down in the UFC as being the next big thing has been inconsistent. He's trying to still build his name off MMA and not truly wrestling because of how he just shitted on RAF for what RAF was asking him to do and he didn't do it. So where does he fall? Chris is 100% correct in that question. If I had to be a betting man, it will be the crossover belt by what I've seen recently.
But here's the downside, right? Let's say he does qualify for the crossover belt. Who the fuck beats him for it? Ever.
There you go.
Nobody, right? He keeps that thing forever.
But that's his saving grace. He has to find a way to come back and get his name back on track. Having the crossover belt and can nobody beat him for the crossover belt does that.
Well, here's the other downside, though. I don't think anybody in RAF wants to watch Bo Nickal wrestle non-wrestlers. So it's like a catch-22. Like I'm just saying, like, I know the talent gap difference. I don't want to see it because there's not going to be a single match that's going to be relevant.
Are you mean to tell me that Stevenson versus Bo Nickal for the crossover belt wouldn't appeal to people?
Well, they're not even in the same weight class. That's the problem.
But I mean, if that was able to be made, like now we got catchweight all the time. We got, that right there is a high profile fight match for the match, not the division.
I mean, I would watch that one for sure, but also at the same time, that's still an extremely a wrestler with a ton of accolades wrestling another wrestler with a ton of accolades. So there's still meat on the bone from the wrestling side to have the appetite to watch that. What I'm saying is, like, I don't think anybody in RAF wants to see Bo Nickal wrestle I mean, maybe him wrestling Colby would be interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Colby is still on the table. So, and on top of that, how many crossovers do you truly have? You have Armand, you have Covington, Cejudo, Marab, Stevenson, Nichols. They all are true crossovers.
You have a lot of crossovers. Mendez.
Yeah.
Pico.
Yeah. Oh, Pico gonna be the next big star for RAF, my opinion.
Pico could win a crossover belt and keep that for a long time too.
Yeah. So there is meat on the bone. And like I said, to be honest with you,
I want to see
that's a runnable platform for Deepwater Podcast. We can run on that platform, a crossover platform, for a good cycle and trend very well.
I mean, I'd like to see Nickel Hamzat.
Yeah. Shit, yeah. You know what?
I'd be okay with that.
I'm now extremely wondering why he called out McKenna and not Hamzat.
Well, I don't remember if Hamzat was even in RAF at the time.
But he called out McKenna after or before Hamzat?
I think it was before, because he called out McAnally like in April or May. I think Hamzat wrestled at St. Louis in like July.
Okay, so let's well, it can't be a crossover without freaking Hamzat. So that's that. Which one you think is the bigger draw? It goes both ways.
On the RAF side, it's probably Nickel, just because like people will buy tickets to want him to hate watch him, to watch and hope he loses.
Well, they both got stories, because Bo Nichols did call out Hamzat and they had a little back and forth shortly. It wasn't a lot, but you have some. McKenna is the future. Bo Nichols is writing himself into the past. So if McKenna beats Bo Nichols is done. The new king, the walk into the era begins with McKenna beating Bo. So that has a better storyline for rite of passage for McKenna, and McKenna's willing to talk shit. His numbers are good. You know what I'm saying? So
McAnally beats Bo. I think it solidifies Bo moving into the crossover pool.
He may not have a choice. It's not like he can pick and choose. He can pick and choose right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Beats him soundly. What if he texts him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think what I'm saying is, if McAnally beats Bo, then it answers the question I just asked earlier of where does Bo fall into.
Okay.
I think it says, okay, the only way Bo can do anything with his name in RAF at this point is to make it in the crossover setting.
Okay.
That's kind of where I was going with that.
I got you. I mean, damn. Shit, this conversation, Ralph's going to be hard to beat.
This is going to be a good clip.
No, think about, not only that, but think about what we just talked about this past couple of minutes, about how big the crossover belt and what is RAF doing on the wrestling side. They could equally be big brands individually, because there's enough on both sides, and the crossover is appealing. I'm telling you now, we can literally turn our what we started back to that, because we have the crossover belt. This conversation, I wasn't even thinking about that like that until just now. And you just made the right kind of match that our dynamic about me and MMA and you on wrestling falls right back into that. That has a cycle. That has a cycle for sure.
Yeah, like a little separate crossover series pod.
Yeah. And with Pico, because I think Pico, shit. I haven't heard Pico run his mouth. I don't know if he has a talk game yet, but as far as his accolades on both sides of the money, shit.
Well, yeah, Pico was literally Bo Bassett before Bo Bassett.
Yeah, exactly. And what he's done in MMA stands for itself. You know what I'm saying? Shit. God damn.
Well, that you got to think about, like, we do have we debuted women's and crossover rankings last month.
Okay.
So we debuted them. So Anton does the crossover rankings. When we decided we were going to do this podcast together, we went to when we were at RAF 11. I walked up to him and go, "Hey, we do our little rankings episode once a month. How would you like to do the crossover rankings so that because he sees my rankings when I produce them, so that we're getting real time reactions and discussions. Mm-hmm. We don't plan any of it. I put the ranking up for a weight. He looks at it, and then we compare and contrast and have our discussions of where he would have someone different versus where I have them. We kind of do that, right?
Yeah.
I have him do the same thing with the crossovers. He puts the crossover. He sends me the crossover, so I have the graphics. I have Lena load the graphics in, so I don't look at them until I get there. And then when we pushed up the crossovers, then we reverse the discussion.
Well, I'll say this. I'll tell you what I'm getting ready to do. Cause like I said, I'm gonna give it, man. Hey, you the deep water face now, dude. I don't got shit to fucking say. You the face of deep water right now. And I'm proud of you for it. I like the crossover. I'm gonna take the crossover. I'm taking that shit right now. I'm taking the crossover. I love that. Cause that was my weakest point with deep water. I could carry on with conversation, talk shit, have fun. Entertainment factor was high on our dynamic, right? Yeah. But I wasn't a student of wrestling. That means there's too many gaps in my game to where I go, oh, the fuck Chris talking about? Let me just argue with him. Fuck you, Chris. You know what I'm
saying? I've been watching a lot of MMA since I started this podcast, so that my gaps would be closed on my MMA knowledge for sure.
But I could have a crossover conversation. I followed all the ones that cross over from a Stevenson, Bo Nichols. I know Pico. I know all the MMA crossovers that matter, that make sense. That's a real conversation worth having versus just a name on a roster. You know what I'm saying? Which to me has huge legs because it can stand on its own. No one has just gone. Okay, what's the right crossover match that needs to be made that brings two lands together? And literally, if you was a wrestling island and I was an MMA island, what would bring us together? That crossover does it for the right match.
That's why I like this. Like when we go over a RAF event, right? And I'm going all in on Ono Divino, right? And why I'm so just like we didn't even talk about Chingus Billy Mendez. Mendez is a two-time NCAA champ. He's the Indiana boy right from down the street.
Yeah.
Mendez is an absolute dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super excited to see Jesse wrestle, right? Like, can't wait. But I can do that. And I can do Karasov, Kazanov. I can get all amped up about these matches. But then you can be like, oh, Merab Cejudo 2, go. Woodley Buckley, go.
Yeah.
Right? And it just makes it easy to flow that back and forth. So speaking of which,
that's facts. Yeah. That's
of
dynamic. Just like the freaking rankings. I can't go with you on rankings, but Buddy can. You know what I'm saying? So the lanes are growing. Wesley embedded. The crossover now, the rankings, the platform is growing. We have a platform that we can have multiple podcasts now, except just one covering so much. Like the betting podcast still needs to happen because there's too much. Chris, the amount of freaking people who are talking about betting, right? Why do you think let's talk about the crossover now. The merger with MVP and PFL. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of that is because of the betting. MVP had his betting platform has taken off to a level that he has fucking say.
I think
let's start from the beginning, right?
I think that's an actual problem for UFC.
It's a real problem, and there's always going to be a change of the guard, right? Dana White, granted, is only 30 years old, right?
I mean,
but it's not like we're talking about boxing.
There isn't always, right? Like let's look at American sports history real quick. Just a quick little sidebar, right? You had this. You had this. The ABA and the NBA. You had the AFL and the NFL, right? You had the American League and the National League, right? If you look at American sports history, every time, even in hockey, you had the NHL and you had a WHL. All four major sports leagues, 30 to 40-ish years into their existence, a second league showed up, built itself up, and once it became as competitive, what'd they do?
Yeah.
They merged together into one super league. And so basically since the 70s, none of the major professional sports has been challenged, could be challenged, will ever be challenged again, because now they all have antitrust exemptions. You're not going to have another baseball league. You're not going to have another hockey league, basketball, baseball. Like, never again will you have a startup league, right? And right now, soccer is going through it in America with MLS and USL.
Yeah.
MLS is about 30 years old. Well, boom. Now there's a second league that's saying, hey, bud, we can do this. And I guarantee you, give it 5 to 10 years, they're going to, boom, merge into a big league and have their relegation and have all their league. And it's going to be, and then that sport league is going to be there forever, right?
Well, but
UFC and PFL, now the MVP merged with PFL, right? That's what's about to happen. You're going to see PFL grow. UFC at some point is going to fix the salary imbalance as PFL pays the guys more, and there's going to be a betting war, right? There's going to be a salary war between the two. And then once it basically becomes unsustainable for both of them, they'll both merge into one big.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. Here's my take on it. First of all, you always need rivalries. That's why you have, Clemson versus Gamecocks. You always need a rivalry, even though it's all under one umbrella, right? You still need rivalry.
Yeah.
Dana White and the UFC being bought out by TKO and is now a corporate entity sucks for the UFC, right? Jake Paul being arguably one of the biggest attention getters in sport today, right? And he has the freedom and he's built the backing to do what he wants to do. And he has a major promotion to do it under Danza, whatever you call it, right? He can get in any room he wants, just like the UFC can. Before he couldn't. Now he can. So
PFL's on the
leverage of the platform of we do it for the fighters, we'll pay fighters. Do you think Woodley would ever get the money in the UFC that he can get with Jake Paul? Ever again? Never.
Not now, no. Well, that's the other thing, right? Like PFL, when UFC moved to Paramount, PFL moved in and took that ESPN contract.
PFL already had the contract. By merging with MVP is just kind of.
Well, PFL was on ESPN before, right?
Yeah.
It was just. I'm just saying, like, ESPN went and got PFL when they knew UFC was going to bail.
Yeah.
Now they probably got PFL for a lot less money than they were paying UFC, but it's still a good.
I mean, ESPN can turn around. I don't know about all the spaces, but could definitely make a lane for combat sports to where they can get back, get some of the credibility and numbers that they've lost because of the politics. Which is the hard part. Politics is ruining everything. There's too much politics in sports. You know what I'm saying? And it's ruining everything that we don't know which way is up.
There's too much politics in every aspect of life, dude. Like,
and I don't know why, when there's so much money that's being thrown at combat sports. I mean, sports in general, but combat sports, that's what we're talking about. There's so much money thrown about it. Why fuck with it? Greed, number one. But why? I mean, greed behind the scenes is fine, but when you're destroying the platform in the process, doesn't make any sense.
Well, like I said,
look at Disney and Marvel. Like you said, they fucked up Star Wars. You know, they were fucked up so much stuff. They're now making a comeback because of Spider-Man, because the new
Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man was
it was dope.
Probably the best one out of all of them. That's probably
fact. On top of that, they already cracked 2 billion.
And Doomsday, it's a wrap, dog. When Doomsday comes out in December, kiss it goodbye. That's gonna be a.
They already said that. It's already said.
That's gonna be a $3 or $4 billion movie. It's gonna be a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
It's gonna fucking reshape the landscape all over again. And I'm just happy to be alive to see it. I thought I would never see anything that make me go, oh fuck again. Now, when I get it in combat sports, because a knockout is always oh fuck, especially if it's done right. You know what I'm saying? But I've kind of written off that I will ever see an all-out Marvel movie that I can be a kid again and go fucking A right. I was looking at that bridge again.
What I love about it is, dude, my kids will talk to me about it. I'm like, yeah, this is what I had to tell my kids. When I was a kid reading comic books, like, you know what series came out when I was a kid?
What?
Spider-Man Carnage, Superman Doomsday, The Death of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the comics when I was a teenage, like 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Venom, Spider-Man Carnage, right? Friggin' the Avengers, like everything that's happening right now, right? Friggin' Batman, Bane.
Yeah.
Like basically every major, like the most popular villain arc comic ever made were all when I was 11, 12, 13. I had to tell my kids, like, you know about this? I'm like, yep, that was in the comics. When I read it, yep, I know all about that. I know all about that. Dr. Doom thing, like, it was crazy.
I raised all my kids on comic books and anime. I used to punish my kids whenever I had a huge ass box of comics, right? I would read like every other day. I pick out a stack and read it, right? For punishment, I used to make them put all of it in order. I had to make them, all right, get in there, fix my comic books, right? So that was their punishment. But I raised all my kids on comic books and anime. So that no matter how life goes, we will always have something to talk about.
Yep.
Go, hey man, did you see that? That way, if they got problems, they don't have to worry about talking about daddy about problems. They can go, hey, did you see the last anime? Yeah, did you like it? That way they can always have a connection without having to be always me with daddy. They got something fun to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch Dragon Ball with the kids all the time, man. Yep.
The time.
Yep.
Like I remember Angelo being like 5 going, Kame, Hame, in his underwear. Kame, Hame, ha.
Yep.
In his fucking underwear, fucking superhero stance. I just hear the boys like shooting Kamehamehas at each other when they were little. It's so fucking funny. And
now we get to go see a movie with them as adults. We could both see the same movie as adults.
Yep, that's what we did last weekend on Sunday. Me, the wife, Angela already saw it twice. So Teo, Lena, and Gia, we all went and saw Spider-Man. And then we'll go out and we're gonna all go see Doomsday together. We're all gonna go, like, there's gonna be a couple movies we're gonna see. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. So I mean, so it can turn around if you want it, if you truly want it to be what it's supposed to be. You can turn it around. Hopefully ESPN can, because they raised up so many generations on ESPN. I hope it doesn't crash and burn, but it's close. It's on its well in its way.
Dude, I don't even watch it. I don't even watch it.
Who's the replacement? I don't want to go to Netflix to watch sports. I fucking don't.
I don't either.
Not Paramount.
Maybe Fox Sports.
maybe, but Fox still has that political, stigma on it that everybody can't trust Fox. You know what I'm saying? ESPN was its own entity away from everything else.
Yeah, that's the problem. When they got bought out by ABC, they brought on the political stigma that ABC had. You know what I mean? So it's like, fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. You know what I mean? Like, what needs to happen is ESPN just needs to go back to being ESPN. It needs to just like some dude just needs to buy it and be like, I want ESPN not to suck anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but I don't get if it's not broke, don't fix it. What was broken that they had to fuck it up this bad? That's what I don't get.
You know what was broken? It made men enjoy something on their own. That's why it was broke. And men can't enjoy anything without somebody having to fuck it up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's my personal feeling. We were too happy. We were too happy watching something, so it had to be destroyed.
Here's the funny part. I hate to say it this way. When you see something and go, what the fuck was that? And then you go look to see who produced it or who put together it, you go, that's
always tracks. Yeah. No matter which side, always tracks.
Yeah.
Never are you surprised when you look at it.
Never. You go, okay, that makes so much sense. Yep, that's and which why RAF has succeeded the way that it has is because Izzy and freaking fuck, my mind went blank.
Chad,
god damn it. Right. Don't cut that part out. Izzy and Chad
be plenty clipped out.
has kept it. I'm not even gonna say Wild Wild West because not Wild Wild West, but they let the boys be boys to a point. Even though we got female fight, I'm not saying that. They let wrestling be wrestling, right? They let shit talking be shit talking. They let the matchup be the matchup, right? Eric Bischoff says, I give him credit for this. He goes, it unfolded how it unfolded. Now let's do something about it. Let's do something with it or something about it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. He don't make excuses, which everybody can respect. You know what I'm saying?
And to be fair, it's obvious with the origins being, Fox Nation, streaming, Hulk Hogan, they get a lot of publicity on Fox News. Like, it's clear which side, if you will, they lean towards, right? But they do it like the way it's intended to be, where it's like, oh, no political correctness. Be you, do what you want to do, and the best dudes are gonna get the best matches, and we're gonna fucking be kind of the Wild Wild West out here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna ride that balance of family friendly and a little Wild Wild West, little gunslinger action in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, here's what I didn't expect. If you say I'm pleasantly surprised on, right? When I first heard Fox Nation, my first thought is like, okay, it's going to be a struggle for RAF to come up anyway. Fox Nation is going to put too much of their campaigning political spin on it and ruin it before it has a chance to take off. Fox Nation hasn't touched it at all. We just know it's Fox Nation. But if you ask anybody where they're watching it on, they're saying they're watching RAF on Fox Nation. They know RAF before they pay attention to Fox Nation. Before, it'd be like, oh, it's on Fox. You know what I'm saying? We would have a negative thought because it was Fox. That don't even come up. Come up. They say it's on. They say we're going to watch RAF. They don't even care about where it's at.
It might have came up in the very beginning before RAF kind of built its own thing.
Yeah.
But then, you got 3 or 4 in, and it was a wrap after that. No one cared. It was all like, I just want to watch wrestlers do crazy ass shit.
Yep.
I agree with that. And, but that's what I'm saying. That's how it's supposed to be. It doesn't matter, like, left or right, who gives a fuck. Just don't be a fuck.
Yeah.
Like
don't fuck it up. Let us enjoy the way we're watching it.
Exactly.
Don't turn it into something that is not. You know what I'm saying? Don't take a name. Don't take what we can say. They haven't took wrestling and tarnished it like I thought they were going to, right?
That's fair.
They pivoted at the right time, right? They go, okay, wrestling is standing on its own. We don't have to sell the extra with it anymore. Crossover belt.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? They pivoted at the right time for the right reason. Was obviously they knew what they were doing, right?
Yeah, because they can
at our age, we were like, okay, I don't get that. But then when it came full circle, go, okay, I get it. Makes perfect sense.
Well, that and the fact that making the first crossover belt Kobe versus Armand.
Yep. Yeah.
Rap, dude. That was
that was the epitome of A, knowing what they were doing, and B, it was actually a fucking good match.
Did you see that press conference?
Not till later. I didn't see it live when it happened. I saw it after the fact.
I was there live, and I watched those two. And I'm going to tell you something. At some point in that press conference, the first thing that went to my head was, I wonder what Coach D thinks about this. I'm not asking you to answer it here live because I don't. But I was like, it happened, and I was like, I literally went, oh no.
Yeah. Oh! When I saw it, it was I was like, all right, here we go.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I literally went, oh, you should, dude. What you should have seen was the people on the side that were all like the media team for RAF. He said, I turned to them as soon as it happened. Their faces were hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Now the only ones who probably could have got away with us doing something is what you said earlier. Can't nobody fire us. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else who just look on their face was, okay, what do we do with this? How do we say it? Do we say it? Do we not say it? You know what I'm saying? Because they have somebody else they answer for.
Well, their answer was to we're not going to talk about this at all. That was their answer. We're going to pretend that never happened, and we're just going to continue on this weekend like that's what it was.
Yeah. And the only thing is, if they wouldn't have delivered on actually a pretty good match, and the only story that had any legs was the press conference, that would have been a problem. Well, it was easy to forget about the press conference because the match was actually pretty good.
And don't get me wrong, I get what he was doing. He was just quoting he was trying to promo the beer by quoting Poirier. Because when Poirier was hammered, and don't get me wrong, Daniel Cormier gives a great do you hear Daniel Cormier's take on the Poirier thing?
Mm-hmm. I heard them all.
First of all, Cormier's take on it was hilarious.
Yeah. And Cormier,
he was one of two white boys in the whole school.
Yeah. Cormier is the only take on it that actually made sense for somebody who's either from the streets or was around it growing up to understand how he could have nonchalantly said it in a situation where a fight was going to kick off. I could only imagine how many fights he had to have been in where he was like, well, come on, mother effer. Where he had to.
To be fair, Poirier has the right accent for it too.
Yeah. And he didn't even bat an eye, which means it was part of his normal because I wasn't even bothered about it because it happened when he was squaring off with another motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And when a fight is getting ready to take off, you say whatever the hell you got to say because a fight is getting ready to happen, right? And don't get me wrong, I've been in plenty of situations where that has happened because banging was coming with it, right? I'm from Connecticut. Do you think when we played football against the Italians, right, that didn't come out everybody on the opposite team's mouth? when the fight broke off.
Let's be fair. I'm sure you guys were calling them wops.
What name does any other culture have that's none? I couldn't even think of. I'd rather talk about somebody's mama to come close to, right? But here's what made that so great. Because we competed every Sunday, right? The Italian side of town was segregated from everybody else. There wasn't no blacks in the Italian side of town. Not a one, right?
Nope.
Our Sunday football game was literally a race war. We knew why we were there. We were to play football, to have the reason to fight them after the game, because we couldn't just go up there and just start swinging, because then it's two gangs.
And you know what? The Italians were the only ones that were probably the only ones that were game for it too.
No, they were no. Cause okay, come on, we went to school with them, so we. It's not like we didn't know them. You know what I'm saying? We knew them, right? We were actually, we fought in school too, but it wasn't always that bad. It wasn't hardcore. It was.
What I'm saying is the Italians were the ones that like had the nuts to be like, let's do this.
No, here's the funny part about the Italians. Back then, because you understand, this was in the late 60s, early 70s. You know what I'm saying? So we were all teenagers, right? Everything you've seen in every Donnie Brasco, that's how they did it. The colored slick back hair, the bright ass colors, talking with your hands. It was every stereotype on that side. It was every stereotype on our side.
I am aware of what that side was.
Yeah.
I got the same problem.
Yeah. And first of all, we beat them just about every time, right? We beat them every time because we had speed, power, and we couldn't afford to lose. We were Midtown, Connecticut. That couldn't be the rumor that went to school on Monday. Hell the F no. So after they lost, fighting had to happen. Somebody had to get punched in the face. And it had to, because Monday was the shit talking. Because we had our girls there. So they had their girls on one side and our girls on the other side. The funniest thing that ever happened is one day the girls played football, which was the worst thing we could ever have done in the history of the mistakes men have made in history.
They fight worse than the dudes.
What? First of all, how no one died is beyond me. They were pulling down by the hair. If I saw a tackle, it was because it was the butch doing it, right? If you were a dainty girl playing football, tackling was the last thing you was doing. They was tripping, kicking, pulling the hair, scratching. All right, I go, we need to stop this. They're like, I ain't going over there. It was more. This is when the only time us and the Italians was both on the same side and go, yeah, we fucked that up. We look at each other and go, we fucked that up, didn't we? He's like, yep. They're like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that.
That's because the Italian girls are they're an aggressive species.
They both are. They both are. And we knew it, but we didn't think it would go as far as it went. They go, they just girls. We all how bad is it gonna be? Shit, were we wrong?
It's worse than what you guys did.
We was like holy shit. I was like, what are we gonna do? We were panicking because we forgot everybody's dad of the daughters that were playing were monsters, right? We weren't allowed to date none of the women they was playing football with. None of them. Everybody was sneaking out. Everybody was private dating. No one was public. Maybe on the town side, but that's only a couple.
Yeah, that's probably one of the few times where like the dads on both sides were like we're absolutely terrified of those people.
Yeah, we like I said, when it was all said and done, and they had all them scratches and bruises, right? We was like, I drove her here. I picked her up, and I was like, hey, I'll let you off at the end of the street. You gonna have to walk to the house. Your dad don't like me no way. The conversation was like, your dad don't like me no way.
And
What you gonna tell him?
And you know, half the Italian dudes' dads were the mob.
What? Chris, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. Because first of all, they knew, the dads knew we were playing football, the guys. They didn't care. Even when we fought, it became a thing. Every Monday, that was the talk of the town, right? The towns and the blacks got in a fight again, right? But it happened every Sunday. If it didn't happen, they would go, why didn't that happen? You think something was wrong? Somebody got shot? Why didn't it happen? We've played and fought every Sunday for the whole high school season.
You can't let their baby girls get hurt. It's a different story, man.
That's where we fucked up at. On Monday, a lot of guys were in school. A lot of guys were in school because that's where you can find them at. A lot of guys didn't show up. I go, hey, you seen Tony? He didn't show up. He got killed. You know, what's his name? Daddy crazy, right? He's like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Paulie didn't show up. Sal didn't show up. Vinny didn't show up.
Yep. Little Tony. Yo, we ain't seen. Where Mike at? Yo. First of all, everybody had names. You know that.
Hell yeah. Where's Timmy Two Eyes at? Where Timmy Cross Eyes at? Oh yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes. Welcome back, Coach D. I will see you all next week, and we'll see who shows up with me. We'll see what happens.
Hey, first of all, that shows you how we get down, right? Me and Chris, we ain't talk who knows how long. We get together and still 2 hours and some change just because. So, like I said, it is what it is, fight fans. We'll see you on the next one.
All right, guys. See you next week. Deuces.
All right. Peace out.